Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Actor Gene Hackman and his wife were found dead. This morning, what investigators are revealing about the couple's deaths and how they were discovered.
And here comes the front late today. This is going to bring us some showers and thunderstorms. I'll show you what time that may start where you are.
And a missing teenager. An Amber Alert is in place this morning. The search effort to find a Harnett County girl gone for 2 days now. Search resumes this morning. We'll have more on that story and others coming up. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lemongood on this Thursday morning. Another morning where the sunrise not looking too bad, though, Elizabeth. I'm seeing a little overcast, kind of giving us a mood setter for the day, so to speak.
It is, but even though it looks gray out there, it is warm. Our wind is coming out of the south-southwest, and that will pick up over time, and it's really pushing some warm air in. This, of course, is a live look at Fenton and Cary, and you can see the gray skies here. But our temperatures are a lot warmer than they were yesterday, and the wind is really starting to pick up. I've noticed it building over the last couple of hours. It's now out of the southwest at 14, and we're starting to gust up into the 20s. It's almost 60 degrees with that strong flow out of the south. It's warming things up very quickly. 57 in Fayetteville, 56 in Rocky Mount, and 55 in Roxborough right now. Hour by hour, we'll hit 72 by lunchtime, and highs will be in the mid-70s. The cold front arrives later today. We start to see our chances really going up between 4 and 5 o'clock, so it will affect our evening commute for most of us, and it exits our eastern counties around, say, 7 to 8 p.m. Coming up, I'll talk about how much rain will fall. Ken?
Elizabeth, here in the 8 o'clock hour, traffic has definitely picked up on I-40 westbound, including the Beltline, both the northern loop of the Beltline as well as the southern loop of the Beltline, starting around Lake Wheeler Road, you see from our live traffic map. And here's what it looks like, courtesy of our live cam network. I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, those are the westbound lanes moving away from us, not moving very quickly, but it doesn't appear that it's going to delay too much. In terms of the major routes coming into the capital city, well, our friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at a 13-minute delay. So you want to give yourself some extra time. There's a 5-minute delay coming in from Nightdale. Over in the Bull City, very little to no delays really to report coming into Durham this morning. We do want to isolate I-885 between I-85 and I-40. Here's what you're looking at. In terms of going into Durham this morning, you're looking at a 5-minute delay, but these southbound lanes, we're seeing a real congestion there. You're looking at a 12-minute delay. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio as we give you a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue, 101.5 HD3.
Oh, tragic news this morning as actor Gene Hackman and his wife were found dead inside their New Mexico home. Authorities say that Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa, a pianist, were found dead during a welfare check yesterday afternoon. A dog was found dead as well. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office has not released information regarding the circumstances surrounding the deaths, but they did say they do not expect foul play. Hackman retired in 2004 after a decades-long career in Hollywood. He was 95 years old, and his wife was in her early 60s.
And we're following some more breaking news. Someone shot into a car and a home in Raleigh early this morning. This is what it looked like around 2 o'clock this morning when the WRAL breaking news tracker arrived on Sunnybrook Road and Pool Road. Police say no one was in the car that was hit, and it's unclear whether anyone was in the home. Nobody was hurt.
This morning, the search is on for a Harnett County girl who vanished from her home on Tuesday. An Amber Alert is in place for 15-year-old Azalea Striffler. Let's bring in WRAL's Eric Miller. He joins us live from the SBI headquarters in Raleigh. Eric, Azalea's family believes that she is in danger.
Chris, this is turning into day after day of scary moments and concern for this family. The SBI, as well as the FBI and the Harnett County Sheriff's Office, all searching for this teenage girl, but still no signs of her this morning. You take a look at these photos here, you get a sense of what she looks like here. This is 15-year-old Azalea Striffler, 5'4" tall and about 110 pounds. You see their blonde hair and blue eyes. Deputies, agents, they have been going door to door in the neighborhood she was last seen. That's Story Acres Road outside of Spring Lake near the Harnett County line there. They have been talking with those neighbors, asking if anybody saw anything, heard anything, running canines out there, setting up roadblocks, but still no sign of this girl. You take a listen to this broadcastify radio traffic, though. It gives you a sense those final moments before Azalea disappeared. Take a listen.
Approximately 1.5 hours ago, a juvenile advised her mother she was going to go get her water bottle out of the vehicle and never came back in.
Azalea Striffler there. Her parents believe she got into a vehicle there. Hasn't been seen since. No description of that vehicle at this time. The community has been stepping up, trying to help this family out, organizing a meal train, raising hundreds of dollars to try to keep these people fed during this difficult time. If you saw anything, heard anything, if there's any doorbell camera video, security camera video that you think might assist in this case, the Harnett County Sheriff's Office is asking you to please get in touch. In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
Well, you may notice an odd taste or smell in your drinking water. It's all part of a process Raleigh Water is beginning today to keep you safe. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Raleigh Water Treatment Plant in Garner. And Kelsey, this is something that happens every year, but it can alarm people.
Yes, Michelle, but there's no reason for anyone to be alarmed. A disinfection process is starting this morning here at this water treatment plant in Garner. Water utilities are required by law to go through this process every year. Starting today, you may notice a difference in the water coming out of your faucets. It may look, smell, or taste different over the next few weeks. That's because water utilities across the triangle are disinfecting their distribution systems. They go from using ammonia and chlorine to just chlorine.
We do this every year. It's to ensure that our distribution system is clean. We want to make sure that the water everyone drinks, that the water everyone uses is safe to use. So we have to make sure that all of our pipes and all of our equipment and everything is clean.
This is something that everyone needs to be looking out for. If you notice your water is discolored before washing your white clothes, you can just turn on your kitchen faucet for a few minutes. That should fix that problem. And Raleigh Water says they plan to complete this disinfection process on April 10. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Garner.
And this morning, the cause of a fire on Liberty Street in Durham is under investigation. Smoke billowed from the front porch of the home last night. We received this video from a WRAL viewer. The Durham Fire Department says this was a small fire and the home was an empty duplex.
New this morning, Old Dominion University is asking students to be on their guard as authorities try to find a shooter. Police say 2 people were shot near a dining hall on campus just before 10 o'clock last night. Now, those people have life-threatening injuries, and police say the victims are not Old Dominion students. A shelter-in-place advisory was issued, but then later lifted.
The man behind the Thank You Jesus yard signs is now facing child sex crime charges here in North Carolina. Lucas Hunt was arrested earlier this week in Asheboro. Authorities say that he willingly received an explicit video of a minor. He was released on a $75,000 bond and is due in court next month. Hunt helped develop the popular Thank You Jesus signs as a teenager. The organization he worked with did not comment on the charges, but acknowledged that Hunt's worked to spread the word of Jesus.
The final exchange has been made in the first phase of the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Israel says it received 4 coffins containing the bodies of hostages. The Red Cross gave the coffins to Israel in Egypt, and then police escorted the bodies back to Israel. The Israeli hostage group says 3 of the bodies have been identified. Now, in exchange, Israel released around 50 Palestinian prisoners, and they were met with crowds of cheering family members, friends, and supporters gathered in the West Bank. Officially, the ceasefire's first phase ends Saturday, but it's unclear whether talks on extending it have begun.
Well, this photo here is spreading online with claims that immigration enforcement agents were parked at Durham's New Hope Church. And now the Durham Police Department is squashing those rumors, instead saying that truck actually belongs to them. Durham police say they were conducting a training exercise at a property near the church on Tuesday, and the department says they spoke ahead of time with the church about parking there. Durham police do say that proper signage explaining a training was going on. It wasn't posted.
Debris from Helene is fueling a wildfire in the western part of North Carolina. That fire sparked north of Marion along Armstrong Creek in McDowell County. It has burned 40 acres so far, and it's only considered 30% contained. Teams say the terrain out there, it's rugged. Actually, trees brought down in the storm are leading to the fire becoming more intense.
Today, St. Augustine's University will try to prove it should fully regain accreditation. Right now, the school is on probation. Its accrediting board voted to remove the school from the organization due to concerns about its financial stability and oversight. An appeal hearing is scheduled for today. The accrediting board has about a week to make a decision.
Apex Restaurant Week is underway. You can stop by local businesses to explore new flavors and enjoy special deals. Lunches are $15 off of the fixed price menu. You can enjoy a 3-course dinner for $30. Restaurant Week runs through Sunday. Your time is 8:09. Put the phone down. The state Senate advanced a bill banning cell phones in the classroom. We'll talk about the effect it could have on your students.
And new leadership change is coming to the DMV's top position. Why the current commissioner says he's leaving the job after 3 years. Elizabeth?
We do have rain on the way for late this afternoon and this evening. It is likely to be a little heavier than just light rain, but not a soaking. We're going to see a line of thunderstorms coming through. I'll show you how much rain we'll see.
Giving you a live look outside at RDU this morning. See a little cloud coverage there. No planes taking off just yet. Sometimes we time it. Okay, it's not happening today. That's okay, though, Elizabeth, though. I kind of had people on pins and needles just waiting. But I think one of the big exciting things is, yes, it's a little more comfortable waking up, but it's also gray outside.
It is kind of a trade-off. You know, yesterday we had a bit more sunshine, especially into the afternoon. We still hit 75 degrees. It was beautiful. We're going to see warm temperatures today, and that's because of the wind. The wind is going to pick up. It'll be coming out of the south, so it will keep pushing the warm air in, even though it's going to be cloudier. A little bit of sunshine trying to peek through here in Fayetteville, but we're pretty gray here in Apex, Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. Raleigh also there. North Hill's looking pretty gray as well. Excuse me. Our next weather maker has several elements to it. It's a cold front ahead of it, becoming windy and warmer late in the day today. Excuse me, we're going to end up with some rain and thunderstorms between around 4 and 8 p.m. And then after the system rolls through, it'll cool off a little bit for Friday. Satellite and radar showing the cold front back here, getting ready to move into the mountains. Some cloud cover definitely ahead of it. Not a whole lot of rain with this right now, but it'll pick up some moisture off the Atlantic and help to bring, some showers into our area. We'll roll through. It does look like an isolated shower around lunchtime in our northern counties, but the bulk of the rain doesn't come until much later in the day. At 3 o'clock, starting to creep into our western counties, but at 5 o'clock, it's fairly widespread. I think it's going to have some impact on our evening commute. In some places, it may be briefly heavy with this front coming through, and it will be windy as well. It moves mainly to our eastern counties by 7 p.m., and then around 8 to 8:30, it's out of the viewing area altogether, and we'll see some cooler temperatures. How much rainfall? It's likely to be around 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, but there may be some pockets where it's a little bit heavier than that. 70% chance of rain today. And then the next system that we're watching doesn't arrive until around the middle of next week. Checking what we're seeing in terms of winds. We're going to see winds gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour. The wind is already starting to pick up into the 20s right now. So it's going to be a windy day today. Sunny and calm for tomorrow at 62 and a really nice day on Saturday. But another front comes through and really drops our temperature back to more winter-like for Sunday, Ken.
Keep the heavy coats handy. Happening right now, a handful of crashes dotting our live traffic map this morning, but a couple we want to bring your attention to. This one in particular is a serious crash on Capitol Boulevard in the southbound lane near Gresham Lake Road. We're not seeing any delays in the area of that crash, but there's some delays coming in from Wake Forest and Capitol Boulevard, which is usually this time of the morning. I-40 is part of your commute. If you're getting on Lewisburg Road, it's going to take you about 6 minutes to get all the way to I-40, but once you get past Falls of Neuse, that intersection, you're free and clear. Traffic has definitely picked up. On the Beltline, you see the northern loop of the Beltline as well as the southern loop of the Beltline. And let's go ahead and take you outside and show you what I'm talking about. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning, just moving rather slowly, albeit moving, nothing I think that's going to make you late. But if you're in a rush, an alternate route is definitely in order. Here's a look at some of the other major routes coming into the capital city this morning. You're looking at a 12-minute delay if you're in Wake Forest. This is a 3-minute delay coming in from Nidale. And over in the Bull City, very little to no delays, really, when you really think about it, in terms of the Bull City going into Durham. We are isolating I-885 because we're seeing some delays going into Durham this morning. You're looking at a 4-minute delay, but if you're leaving Durham from 85 down to 40, it's going to take you about 8 minutes. If you're getting ready to head out the door, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. State lawmakers are one step closer to banning cell phone use in North Carolina classrooms. A Senate committee advanced a bill that would prohibit students in public K-12 schools from having cell phones during class time. The move comes after a House committee passed a similar bill on Tuesday. The House bill would allow schools to limit instead of banning cell phones outright.
I believe this is an urban or rural issue. It's not a Democrat or Republican issue. It's about getting our kids focused in the classroom and away from social media.
The House and Senate still need to vote on a bill, and the governor needs to sign it for it to become law.
After nearly 3 years, Wayne Goodwin is leaving his position as the commissioner of the state DMV. Goodwin has been leading the DMV since 2022, and during that time, the DMV has experienced many issues. Extremely long wait times, 6 weeks or longer just to get an ID, and 6 months or more to schedule a routine appointment. After the state posted a job listing for the position of commissioner, Goodwin told WRAL he would be reapplying for the job. That was less than 2 weeks ago, and now he's reversing course.
We've done a lot of good things, and we could talk on and on this afternoon about the things that have happened. But to me, that we need to focus on results, and that's where we got to go. And I could talk about this program or that software or this system that we've done or that we plan to do, but until it starts making a difference to the wait times and the services that the citizens get, it's not serving anybody.
Transportation Secretary Joey Hopkins told WRAL it'll be some time before someone else is hired for the job. Goodwin will remain in this position until then.
Well, 5 on Your Side has been investigating issues at the DMV for years, particularly long wait times and limited appointment availability. So did issues improve under Commissioner Goodwin's leadership? Well, according to DMV data, the answer is yes. He hired 400 workers, reducing the agency's vacancy rate by 20%, and wait times also dropped, falling below pre-pandemic levels from an average of 38 minutes in 2018 to 20 to 25 minutes in 2023 and 2024. However, for many North Carolinians, those improvements weren't always felt.
The Supreme Court overruled a decision requiring the Trump administration to pay for nonprofits and contractors. These are agencies that had deals with USAID. The Trump administration was given the deadline of midnight last night to make those payments. Chief Supreme Court Justice John Roberts put a pause on the deadline because the Trump administration filed an emergency appeal just before the deadline. In a separate court filing yesterday, the Trump administration said it is terminating more than 90% of USAID's foreign aid awards.
Well, as we're learning more about the shocking, tragic death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife, we're taking a look back at his illustrious career. Hackman was the gold standard for this era with more than 4 decades on the big screen. In 1956, Hackman began pursuing an acting career. In '63, he made his Broadway debut, then gained further recognition for his role in Superman. In 1978, Hackman has 2 Academy Award wins for Best Actor for his role as Jimmy Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, and for Best Supporting Actor for his role in Clint Eastwood's film Unforgiven. Along with those wins, he also secured 3 Oscar nominations. In 2004, Hackman appeared alongside Ray Romano in the comedy Welcome to Mooseport. That was his final film acting role. In 2008, he officially retired, but did briefly come out of retirement to narrate 2 documentaries in 2016 and 2017.
A severe house fire displaced a Cary family, and investigators are saying an inflatable hot tub purchased at Costco may have started it.
And what did the fire department say to you?
The fire department said that it was pretty clear that that pump started the fire.
A 5 on Your Side investigation uncovered that this pump is linked to multiple recalls, which is why tonight at 6 o'clock, WRAL's Keely Arthur will reveal where the product is still being sold. She'll also explain how it's been tied to a series of fires across the United States, including one in Missouri that ended in tragedy.
Well, just like humans, when emergencies happen, pets need blood too. And just like human blood banks, veterinary blood banks also experience shortages. The Triangle Veterinary Referral Hospital runs one of 4 blood donation programs in the area, offering what's known as whole blood transfusions. It's when blood is donated directly from one animal to another. And over the years, staff say demand has soared. So now they are using their own pets to help meet the rising need.
It's super important. It helps us be able to help animals better. If they need a transfusion, it's typically vital and important to the pet's health.
And pets that are blood donors get free cardiac exams and anxiety tests. And if a donor pet ever needs their own transfusion, they will get it for free. Well, a new lunar lander is on its way to the moon.
3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Go Falcon.
The lander, called Athena, launched last night from Kennedy Space Center on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Its mission is to drill into the south pole of the moon. It'll also launch a moon mapping satellite. It could land on the moon by next Thursday.
Well, today is the day to catch them all. It's National Pokemon Day. The game was introduced on this day 29 years ago. The franchise has since expanded to including trading cards, TV shows, movies, so much more. Gaming stores are going to be holding events today to celebrate this moment. And I know you already asked there, Michelle, but my favorite Pokemon is called Ghastly.
Amazing. I like Jigglypuff. All right, well, tonight, 2 of the top women's basketball teams in the country square off on Tobacco Road. 8th-ranked UNC travels to Durham to play 16th-ranked Duke. This is a crucial matchup ahead of March Madness. Both teams are in the running to host games on the first weekend of the tournament. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock tonight.
Your time is 8:23. Deadly flu season. How to keep your family safe as flu-like illnesses reach a 15-year high.
And decades on the court, a coach from Cary is honored for his dedication to the game, his 5 rules to success.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
Good morning and happy Thursday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Boy, we are in for a warm day today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has a live look over Chapel Hill.
Looks beautiful here. We do have some sunshine. You can tell it looks nice and bright on the buildings. You can see some of the shadows. But as we get through the day, we'll see more and more cloud cover. And there are parts of the viewing area that are already fairly overcast. With a southerly flow, it's warm out there. 55 in Lewisburg, 57 in Fayetteville, 53 in Irwin, and 56 in Rocky Mount. So much warmer than this time yesterday. Our southerly flow, anywhere from 5 to 15, will start to gust up to 20 to maybe even 30 miles per hour later on this afternoon. Dog walking forecast, we're going to see a high of mid-70s, but later on we will see a better chance for showers and thunderstorms, especially into the evening commute. Ken?
All right, happening now in the morning commute. Let's give you a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. Traffic really moving at a steady clip, moving nicely in both directions. In terms of other major routes coming into the capital city, here's what we're looking at. A 9-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest this morning. And boy, 87 has definitely cleared up, just a 2-minute delay. In terms of the Bull City, here's what we're looking at. Very little to no delay short of Highway 98. You're looking at a 7-minute delay if you're heading into Durham this morning. I'll have another update on your commute at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
All right, thanks, Ken. This morning, authorities are searching for missing 15-year-old Azalea Striffler. An Amber Alert was issued yesterday. Striffler was last seen 2 days ago. She is described as 5'4", 110 pounds, blonde with blue eyes. There is no word on who may have picked her up or a description of the vehicle. And someone shot into a car and a home in Raleigh early this morning. This is what it looked like around 2 o'clock this morning when the WRAL breaking news tracker arrived on Sunnybrook Road at Pool Road. Police say no one was in the car that was hit. It is unclear whether anyone was in the home. We know that nobody was hurt. Coming up next on Fox 50, more news, weather, and traffic.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news right now. Gene Hackman and his wife found dead in their New Mexico home. The details coming out about their unexpected deaths.
Plus, Amber Alert, a Harnett County teenager missing since Tuesday. The concern for her safety as the search continues today.
And here comes a front. It's moving into the mountains right now. I'll show you what time it arrives here and how much rain we could see.
Sanitary, but a little smelly. Your tap water will soon go through a new disinfecting process. We'll talk about the signs you may notice and why you shouldn't be so concerned about it. Hey, thanks so much for waking up with us here on your Thursday morning on WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Levingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Boy, a beautiful start to our Thursday morning. Look at the clouds over Dix Park. I know it's cloudy, but it's still pretty, and it's going to be really warm today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with another pretty look over Fayetteville.
Yeah, here's a look at Fayetteville. The camera was shaking just a few minutes ago. The winds are really going to pick up today, and they're coming right out of the south, which is why temperatures will be so warm, even though it will be cloudy. We do see some sunshine peeking through here in Fayetteville, but but there are plenty of places right now that are fairly cloudy. Our wind is southwest at around 14 miles per hour, but we'll be gusting up to, say, 25, 30 later on this afternoon. Our temperature currently in the triangle is 59. Here's a look at our winds. Not a lot of gusts right now, but the steady wind anywhere from 5 to around 15 miles per hour, and that will pick up as the day wears on. It's 56 in Rocky Mount, 55 in Southern Pines, 59 in Durham. So much warmer than it was yesterday. Probably a jacket will be fine for you. We do climb into the mid-70s, and then around 4 or 5 o'clock, we start to see the showers and thunderstorms developing. It will be an impact to the evening commute. Some of that rain may be heavy in pockets. We're going to talk about how much we'll see where you are. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, happening now, a couple of crashes we want to bring your attention to, even though there are a handful on our live traffic map this morning. This one is on Highway 55 in the southbound lanes there, Cornwallis Road, not causing any delays in that particular area, but just watch for some police activity if you happen to be at the intersection there in Durham. This crash on Capitol Boulevard, whenever there's a crash on Capitol Boulevard, we're always concerned because there's usual congestion there, as you see right there. This one is near Gresham Lake Road. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know what kind of delays you're looking at in just a few seconds. The Beltline also picking up, the northern loop of the Beltline as well as the southern loop of the Beltline. And here's what it looks like, courtesy of our live cam network. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see the westbound lanes moving away from us at this hour. Boy, it's been a real bumper-to-bumper traffic out there every now and then. Now, in terms of the major routes coming into the capital city, I mentioned Capitol Boulevard. For our friends in Wake Forest and all points east, north, you're looking at a 9-minute delay coming into the capital city. So keep that in mind. Give yourself some extra time this morning. In Durham, we're looking at very little to no delays coming in to the Bull City. Short of I-885, we got a couple of things that we want to bring your attention to. Just a 5-minute delay if you're using I-885 to go in and out of Durham. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. Tragic news this morning. Actor Gene Hackman and his wife have been found dead inside their New Mexico home. Authorities say 95-year-old Hackman and his 63-year-old wife and a dog were all found during a welfare check at the home yesterday. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office has not confirmed the cause of death, but investigators say they do not expect foul play. The award-winning actor had been retired since 2004 after decades in the movie business.
And Jeff Hogan of the WRAL Live Center, of course, checking in on Hollywood and reaction coming in on the Gene Hackman death, along with his wife in New Mexico. Francis Ford Coppola, look at this picture from a movie they made together. The loss of a great artist, always cause for both mourning and celebration. Hackman was a great actor, inspiring and magnificent in his work. So he's mourning his loss and celebrating his existence and contribution. George Takei also posting on X, Star Trek fame, right? Lost one of the true giants of the screen. Gene Hackman could play anyone, and you could feel a whole life behind it. I mean, just look at the iconic picture of him there. Could play any role, could play opposite anybody as well. Hoosiers comes to mind as you look back at some of his great films.
His history spans so many decades.
Yeah.
A lot of people know him from a lot of films. Thanks, Jeff. This morning, investigators are trying to track down a Harnett County girl who vanished from her home on Tuesday. An Amber Alert is in place for 15-year-old Azalea Striffler. And WRAL's Eric Miller joins us from the SBI headquarters in Raleigh. Eric, Azalea's family believes that she is in danger right now.
Chris, the clock is continuing to tick here and still no signs of this missing teenager, even as agencies like the SBI, the FBI, and the Harnett County Sheriff's Office are continuing to search. You take a look at these photos here. This is that missing teen, 15-year-old Azalea Striffler. She's 5'4" tall, about 110 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. Those deputies, those agents, they've been going door to door talking to friends, neighbors, relatives, but no sign of that girl just yet. They also sent dogs out there into the neighborhood trying to pick up her scent, even setting up checkpoints in the vicinity, but still nothing. Talking with experts here, including with the North Carolina Center for Missing Persons, they say girls of this age are particularly vulnerable in cases like this. Take a listen.
15-year-old females, specifically 15-year-old females who are minorities, they go missing the most. We don't have a real reason why that happens, but this is very much on par statistically with what happens on a state level and a national level.
Striffler's family believes she got in a vehicle sometime around 6:15 a.m. Tuesday morning near the family's home on Stony Acres Road. That's just outside of Spring Lake. There's no description of that vehicle, no sense of who the person might have been who was driving. But still, this community coming together, trying to give this family aid at this time, trying to get a meal train started, raising hundreds of dollars to that goal. The Harnett County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with information here, whether that's knowledge, whether that's security video, anything, to please come forward. In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
Police are investigating a deadly shooting outside a busy Fayetteville restaurant. What you're seeing right here is the scene at Smoky Bones outside Cross Creek Mall. Investigators responded to the crime scene and found a gunshot victim in the parking lot, and that person died at the hospital, but police have not identified them. Anyone with information on this shooting can call police.
Well, you may notice an odd taste or a smell in your drinking water, and it's all part of a process that Raleigh Water is beginning today to keep you safe. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Raleigh Water Treatment Plant in Garner. And Kelsey, this is something that happens every year, but people, they get worried about it sometimes.
Yes, Michelle, but there's no reason for anyone to worry. A disinfection process is beginning at this water treatment plant in Garner this morning. Water utilities are required by law to go through this disinfection process every year. Starting today, you may notice a difference in the water coming out of your faucets. It may look, smell, or taste different over the next few weeks. That's because water utilities across the triangle are disinfecting their distribution systems. They go from using ammonia and chlorine to just chlorine. We spoke with Kimberly Holmes Iverson with Raleigh Water. She says, although you may notice a change in your water, it's still safe to use and drink.
If you're washing your white clothes and you notice your water is slightly discolored, go ahead and let your tap run a few minutes, and that should help with that. Beyond that, I can't stress it enough. The water is safe to drink. The water is safe to offer your pets. It's safe to use to water your plants. It's safe to bathe in.
Raleigh Water says they plan to continue this disinfection process until April 10th. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Garner.
Duke University students, staff, and faculty are urging the school not to comply with the federal government's order to end DEI policies. They marched in support of the programming on campus yesterday. Duke has an office for institutional equity, which says it helps advance Duke's culture of diversity, inclusion, equality, and belonging through educational opportunities and resources. Earlier this month, UNC Chapel Hill ended its requirement for students to take courses focused on DEI as a condition of graduation.
Law enforcement is focusing their search for a retired Green Beret at his home. Deputies, dogs, even drones searched this property in Cumberland County. It's a property Clint Bonnell shares with his wife. On Tuesday, the sheriff's office pulled a body from a pond on Gainey Road. That's about a mile from where Bonnell lives and was last seen. Deputies won't confirm whether the body is Bonnell, but he did disappear on January 27th. He was reported missing after he didn't show up for class at Methodist University. That's where he was studying to become a physician's assistant.
For the first time in a decade, a person in the U.S. has died of measles. The victim is a school-aged child in Texas who was unvaccinated. More than 120 measles cases are confirmed in Texas, mostly in children. Texas health officials say they are seeing some severe cases. About 20 people are in the hospital, some in intensive care. Hospital workers say the outbreak is taking a toll.
This has been hard on them as we have had so many kids coming in, and then obviously we were not prepared probably so early in what we're seeing to already have a death that's attributed to this.
And public health officials say the best way to avoid getting measles is to get vaccinated. New Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has questioned the science behind vaccines. And when asked about the outbreak at President Trump's cabinet meeting yesterday, he said his department is watching it and will continue to follow it.
Opium, heroin, cocaine. This is what 17 people are accused of trafficking in our area. Authorities from multiple agencies arrested them across 7 locations, several, I should say. We first brought you this story as breaking news yesterday morning. Sky 5 flew over one scene off Jonesville Road and Hartsfield Drive. This is around 9 a.m. You could see at least a dozen law officers at the time, including DEA agents and dogs searching this property. At least 2 people were arrested at this location alone.
65 more people have died from the flu here in North Carolina. That makes a total of 311 flu-related deaths this season. Almost 75% of the people who died were over 65. 2 of the deaths were children. Nationally, flu-like illnesses are the highest they've been in 15 years.
Tonight at Lenovo Center, the Hurricanes become the Whalers once again. The Canes will trade out their red and black jerseys for green and blue ones to celebrate their history in Hartford. The team store will also be filled with Whalers merchandise. And the Canes face off with the Buffalo Sabres tonight at 7. Should be a good game.
It'll be fun. All right, well, weather in review. How did last year's hurricane season compare to expectations? Meteorologist Anthony Baglione looks into the latest data from the National Hurricane Center.
Plus, state of schools. Wake County's public education leader highlighted the successes and the challenges the school system faces. This morning, his plan to put students first.
And it's going to be another warm day, but a cold front is on the way. Look at this. You are looking live at the WRAL studio tower camera. Gorgeous right now. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner times out the rain and storms that's just ahead. Welcome back. Good morning to all of you in Durham as we take a live look there right now. Look at the sky looking a little mean with the clouds there and the white buildings against it. We are expecting some rain later on today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has the timeline of when we're going to see it.
Let's talk about that next, weather maker. It's a cold front that'll come through later on today, and we'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies, seeing some cloud cover out there this morning, but noticeably warmer. Our wind is coming out of the south. We'll see increasing clouds with breezy to windy conditions starting around the middle of the morning, and then during the evening, maybe even starting as early as 4 or 5 p.m. through the evening commute and through dinner time, we'll have that chance for a line of showers and thunderstorms moving through. Here's a look at where the front is right now, just starting to push into the mountains of North Carolina. That strong flow from the south out ahead of it is keeping things nice and warm. The cold front itself starts to approach us around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's 3 o'clock, Durham to Roxborough to South Hill. We may start to see a little bit of light rain. Right around 5 o'clock, it starts to intensify just a little bit, so that rain maybe becomes slightly heavier, moderate, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but that's going to be right during the evening commute. It moves through our eastern counties by around 7 and then out of the viewing area around 8 o'clock. All total, I wouldn't expect it to sit over any one spot more than an hour to maybe an hour and a half, and none of this will be severe. Take a look at Fayetteville right now. There's been some sunshine trying to peek through some high clouds there. Our temperature in the triangle is 59, still dry with that dew point of 37, and we're on our way into the mid 70s for this afternoon. Right now, temperatures are in the mid to upper 50s, but once we get into the 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock hour, these temperatures are really going to jump pretty quickly. Holly Springs 54, Garner 56 degrees in Cary, so it is a nice mild start today compared to what we saw yesterday. The wind is starting to pick up out of the south around 5 to 15, and it'll start to gust a little stronger. Once we get to, say, lunchtime or so, we'll be gusting up to nearly 30 miles per hour in some places. High temperatures, 76 Raleigh, 74 in Durham, and 78 in Fayetteville. And all these warm temperatures may make you think of a hurricane season. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione is coming up in a few minutes to talk about the accuracy of the Hurricane Center this past year. It's pretty interesting stuff. Tomorrow we'll see sunshine and cooler temperatures. A front comes through Saturday night that returns us to winter temperatures.
Oh boy. All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. And as you were just mentioning, hurricane season is behind us. And last year was a rough one for North Carolina. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione joins us now. Anthony, the National Hurricane Center has put out its accuracy report on the last year. How did their forecasting match up with what was predicted?
It's amazing to look at this data, Michelle. They were very, very accurate here. So I know there's a lot of information going on, but we're going to kind of break down a little bit more of this. So simply put, you can see they had the record levels, their lowest levels of error in their forecast for the track itself. Right here on this axis is how far off the track was in nautical miles. And so you go up in time or out there farther into the future, you see that error starts to get a little bit greater. The red line, though, right there represents 24 hours out ahead. So a very short-term forecast. And you can see that trend line continued to go down. All of these trend lines over the past while here you can see continue to go down. Their forecast error started to go down as well. There are fluctuations year to year, but very, very good consistency there as far as their track forecast getting better. There's a look at the intensity. So for perspective, you can see back in 1990, they were just under about 10 knots off of their forecast. It's still very close to that there in 2024. It was a little bit higher due to these rapid intensification events that we keep seeing. They are very hard to forecast, but all in all, Michelle, looking at this data, they did a very good job. They were better than every single computer model as well.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. Well, Wake County School Superintendent Robert Taylor is celebrating the system's successes and facing its challenges. Taylor delivered his annual State of the Schools address last night at Southeast Raleigh High School. He talked about the resilience and adaptability of students and educators during the COVID pandemic. He also celebrated the county's higher enrollment in advanced courses and career and technical education courses. He also introduced a new student-centered learning mode called See Me, Challenge Me, Engage Me, and Know Me.
Visual approach is aimed at meeting students where they are, whether they need to catch up or whether they need to be challenged more.
And Taylor also addressed the threat of losing federal funding. He said Wake Schools plans to follow the law and try to reduce the impacts on campuses. And the New York Medical Examiner is investigating the death of actress Michelle Trachtenberg. The actress, known for her roles in Buffy, The Vampire Slayer, and Gossip Girl, was found unresponsive yesterday in her apartment. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Foul play is not suspected. Trachtenberg was 39 years old.
A big change is coming to how the NFL measures where the ball is on the field. The league is expected to turn to a virtual measurement system in the coming season. This technology is called Hawkeye. It's essentially the same technology used in tennis. The NFL has used what it calls the chain gang since the 1940s, but many fans feel the system is outdated and can lead to incorrect calls. The chain gang will remain on the sidelines just as a backup.
Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick reunite on screen. Nicolas Cage gets caught up in a surf war and more. Ashley Dvorkin has the latest coming out of Hollywood this morning.
Lively and Kendrick head to Italy. Cage battles surfers, and McCartney looks back in the Hollywood nation. Paul McCartney is releasing a new book. Wings, the story of a band on the run, will tell the story of the group McCartney formed in the early 1970s after the Beatles broke up. He co-founded the band with his late wife and keyboardist Linda McCartney and late guitarist Denny Laine. It will feature over 100 photos alongside words based on hours of interviews from McCartney and other key players. The book will be available November 4th. Patrick Wilson has joined the cast of the Apple TV Plus series Cape Fear. He will star alongside Amy Adams and Javier Bardem. The show centers on married attorneys tormented by a notorious killer from their past when he is released from prison.
That's my board, and I want it back.
Today's first looks include Nicolas Cage starring in the psychological thriller The Surfer. He plays a businessman who returns to Australia to reestablish his roots, but finds himself in a battle with the local surfers to reclaim his beachfront home. The film arrives in theaters May 2nd.
Did you break out of prison? Will you be my maid of honor?
Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick reunite on screen in the trailer for Another Simple Favor. The follow-up to director Paul Feig's 2018 film A Simple Favor features the duo reprising their roles as Emily Nelson and Stephanie Smothers, who reconnect in Capri, Italy for Emily's lavish wedding. The sequel premieres on Prime Video May 1st.
What have you done?
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And first-time filings for unemployment benefits reached the highest level of this year so far. The numbers just came out. 242,000 people last week signed up for unemployment, potential sign of weakness in this labor market right now. And with the increase in all those federal workers that are on those unemployment lines, that's adding to it. It was estimated to be about 220,000 this week. So it's up 22,000 from the previous week. The level of claims here matches the highest level since early October of 2024.
Carrie Mann was honored this week after more than 4 decades as a coach, mentor, and leader. David Sinotis has coached basketball with the town of Cary youth teams for 42 years. The NC State graduate has guided boys on the basketball court for decades. He actually recently won a sportsmanship award that got him a standing ovation from players and families. Sinotis says that he has 5 rules for his players: have fun, be a good sport, listen to your coach, do the best you can, and have fun.
All right, before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll be right back.